Okay. Do 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 do. Oh, I've got my headphones on, but the sound's coming through the speakers. Hang on. There we go.
Is it on you?
Fortean Words. It's playing an intro. Do do do. Oh, okay, yeah. So I'll just let the intro go on its way through.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't forget you're a standard moderator for this channel. Do not say fuck or bugger.
That's it. Susan's demonetized us already.
Wow, you know, that's okay. We got our sweet JML bucks. Hello and welcome to Fortean Words, episode 178, the Pensicola, Sea Serpent and Other Stories. I've never been to Pensicola in I think it's in Florida.
Pensicola.
Yes. I'm sure the Americans have a different way to pronounce it, like Arkansas.
Pensicola, I think it is. No.
Yeah, no, it's. I think they called it Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah, it's Pensicola. Yeah. So I don't know what the Pensicola thing is, but what I do know is
Hemi is currently attempting to cook some meat, so he'll be back in a second.
Oh yes, I ought to mention. We are joined here today by special guest me, Hobbit, and regular guest Fraser, and our host.
Yeah, special in the head.
Oh, I'm a very special guest, and our host is currently providing for his family, and he just wants to grill for God's sake.
Yeah, so just let a man grill.
Yeah, he's just grilling. Come on, guys, just having a grill. I too had some burgers to begin with, and didn't have any fried onions.
National Hamburger Day or something. Did someone not give me the fucking memo?
Yeah, what didn't you know?
No.
Like, yes. So I was
actually got some beef burgers in the freezer. Fuck.
So I had hamburgers and I
have to do
some leftover red Leicester chopped on top of them and slices of cucumber. That was good. And I had salt and pepper with it, and I had some lager. So that was very nice. Now, there's been a bunch of interesting things in the Fortean Words Telegram chat. Nobody's been saying fuck or bugger, which is good. So what have we got on there? So most recent thing was there was something about flat Earth. The international dateline's a bit funny.
Yeah, that. What did you think of that then? Like that?
Well, I've always thought, why does the international dateline work like this? Because it makes no sense to me. But there's also another thing of Alaska and eastern Russia are really close together on the globe map. But there's a space of, there's a gap of 3 hours between Vladivostok time and Anchorage time. And it's like, well, okay, they're a bit screwed, like south in France, they say they're an hour ahead. But, that doesn't really make sense why there would be 3 hours difference. I mean, if you think about it, like 5 hours difference is England versus the east coast of the USA. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of stuff which doesn't add up. And then the fact that the equatorial ridge has got more time zones than the northern bit, and then the southern bit's got even more time zones. It's almost as if the North Pole was like the centre of the Earth and it's a flat Earth, you would need time zones to account for the expanded sectors of the southern hemisphere, which are in fact the southern sector.
Yeah, it's almost like the southern hemisphere is bigger than the northern hemisphere. Weird.
Now, there are some things where I think to myself, but it is a globe. Yes, but there is these things. But at the same time, there's just a lot of stuff which doesn't add up, and we just carry on pretending like it's all the same.
Well, that was the interesting thing I found out from that video. Actually, like the actual like time zones only matter to like land, like in the sea. Like it's an interesting point you brought up about the date lines in the Pacific, like how it's all screwy out there. How's anyone going to tell what time zone you're in?
You'd have to observe the rising and falling of the sun, I think.
Well, yeah.
And noon is, as Professor Brian Cox said, time zones don't matter, they're worth less than fecal matter. Moon man, can't you see? The international time zone is conspiracy, and I hate you for your deceptive ways. That's why everyone is now doing the flat earth. That doesn't scan. Oh well, never mind.
That was terrible, wrong.
New York to track residents' food purchases and place caps on meat served by public institutions. This is forwarded from the conspiracy hole. New York City will begin tracking the carbon footprint of household food consumption. Now, normally we do the news bit right at the end, but I like that we're doing the news roundup before. And putting caps on how much red meat can be served in a public institution as part of a sweeping initiative to achieve a 33% reduction in carbon emissions from food by 2030. And this article is written by Brenda Belletti, PhD. Hang on. Brenda Belletti. Isn't she the one we read a news article about the other time and it really annoyed me?
Don't know. Doesn't ring a bell to me.
I think it was a science article and I just got really annoyed.
I think it was another Italian name.
Let me just have a look. I'm just going to scroll up a bit.
Is this the Italian conspiracy? Yeah. The Italian question?
It was Rosanna Ruggeri.
In the IQ,
yeah. So it was Einstein rings could help solve the mysteries of dark matter, and that article was by Rosanna Ruggeri. So it's just... Yeah, well, hang on. She looks the same as this bitch in Brenda Belletti. I think these are just like an AI created thing. I don't think these are real people.
Wait, have you got a photo? It must be a photo, right?
Oh no, it's just an image. I can't click on. Well, I'm sure if we type in New York track residents food purchase place, type that in, we get a picture. But anyway, Brenda Belletti, not to be confused with Rosanna Ruggeri. These are totally real people. This is the problem. You could tell me it's actually here's a real flesh and blood person, and you can touch them and stuff, and it's like, yeah, my name is Brenda Belletti, PhD, and like, yeah, but you're not real though, are you?
Well, this is the interesting thing since the AI kind of thing exploded this year with the pictures and everything else. Like, it makes you wonder how long have they had the ability to create people that aren't real, right?
I've often wondered if there is like an underground military base which clones people, and then they're the ones which aren't quite there. They're the sort of celebrities and such.
Well, Eminem. Yeah, Eminem's clone, yeah.
I was thinking... I was thinking, what's her name? Diane Abbott.
Diane Abbott.
Something not right about her. I think that there was a couple of transcription errors in the clone vats that day. Alphabet Cat says in Alphabet Cat says in Flat Earth Theory, are the sun and the moon inside the firmament or outside it? I reckon they're inside, aren't they?
Well, there's different competing ideas on if it's outside or inside. Like it's.
If you look at the sun through clouds, you can see it's definitely close.
It's above the clouds, yeah. There's many examples of heat spots underneath. It's kind of. But then again, you could just say, well, that's just a light travelling from 96 million miles or whatever to Earth. Blah blah. Therefore, you're going to get a heat spot.
Yeah, it just refracts like that. It's just it's gravitational lenses of the water droplets what cause it to do that. That's a good point. When you're in a swimming pool and stuff, and you've got like the sun shining down, is it nice straight beams, or does it go like just goes at a 45-degree angle from the source of the light? Because there's an example you could say, well, here's a body of water, let's observe the angle of refraction in water, and then maybe we can deduce the angle of refraction in clouds and see if they line up, or in fact the angle of refraction is different and can't be explained by deflection
Depends what
force
time of day it
droppers.
is, right? The angle of the light ray.
It wouldn't. So that will determine what way the line goes, but the angle of refraction should be the same, because if you've ever like shone a light into a prism, you will see the light always comes out at the opposite angle. It's always the same angle of refraction. So yeah. Oh, this article, by the way, this one about like shouldn't eat meat because it's the sin against the new climate cults. They say the partnership between American Express, New York, London, and C40 cities to map urban missions formally launched last week in a C40 press release. Oh, there's a hyperlink. So I was going to ask, do you guys know what the C40 cities about? Our cities.
C40. No.
Around the world. Oh, it's
15-minute city shit.
Oh, the 15-minute walkable ghetto.
Yeah.
Around the world, C40 mayors. Let me see, where are they situated? So, London, Paris, Barcelona, Madrid, Lisbon, Philadelphia, New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Some in Latin America as well. Salvador, Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, Lima, Buenos Aires, Santiago. What's the ones in South Africa? Cape Town, Durban. Oh, no. Durban is the Kawini? Yeah, let's go with Durban.
Do you want a new conspiracy theory hot off the shelves?
What's that?
Jada Pinkett Smith says white supremacy is responsible for the failure of her new documentary.
Yes, let's go with that. Well, surprisingly, a lot of Chinese cities are on this C40 list of dickheads. Wuhan.
Wait, are we talking about the inhabited ones or the ghost towns?
Chengdu, Wuhan, Hangzhou, Shanghai, Nanjing, Qingdao, Beijing, that's Peking to us now, and Dalian, not to be confused with Dallas. Houston, Austin, and New Orleans. Yeah, okay, so Dallas is not part. Of course, Sydney and Melbourne are going to be part of it, as is Auckland.
Oh, have you seen this poll that Elon Musk has just put up? Who should play Snow White? Gal Gadot 3%, Anna de Arm 2%, Rachel Ziegler 1%, Terry Crews 93%.
So what is C40 cities? C40 is a network of mayors of nearly 100 world leading cities collaborating to confront the climate crisis, emergency, Ebola AIDS. Cities in the C40 network earn their membership through action, membership operations, or performance-based requirements, not on fees. Our leadership standards set the minimum requirements for all member cities. So, yeah, okay, that sounds like a load of bullshit. What else is there in the news roundup? Yeah, so we done the flat Earth, done the you should eat less meat because it's a sin against climate crisis emergency. There's a mini documentary in Fortean Words. It's called Witchcraft in the Bible. It's half an hour long, so if you want to know about what the Bible has to say about witchcraft and sorcery and is there such thing as real magic, then look in that. There's also another documentary posted that's only 20 minutes long about God's flat Earth. It's quite good. The guy definitely does not sound like he's gonna I want to buy bees. Oh yes.
I want to buy bees.
There's another thing called Microsoft is turning Windows into an advertising platform. Yeah,
no shit.
I must getting annoyed with those adverts that come up on my thing. It's like, hang on, who owns this computer? The retards of TikTok posted something called social credit introduced to access the internet via your digital ID. Citizens will need 100 points of identification to use social media, and this is in Australia, mind you, not China. And the police will have access to your accounts, including private messaging. So you're going to have to do what they've done in Syria and all these other shithole countries, where if you want to have a private conversation with someone, you need to go out in the country, make sure nobody's around you.
No,
and then you can have
you can go pub because all the extra noise will mask it.
Oh, Right, but the way I was told by Syrians is they go up into the mountains and there'll be 2 people there, because if you had a third person, chances are it'd get leaked to the authorities what your conversation was about. See, if you wanted a private conversation, you go up in the mountains.
Alright, mate, we're going in the outback. We're gonna... That kangaroo grassed us up, mate.
Oh, the problem is the Yowies will be listening to it in the outback, so they'll
that tarantula there, the size of the fucking house, that grassed us up, yeah.
The Yowies will dob you in for plotting to do credible acts of violence against the Australian government. Archbishop Welby undermines his office by taking a bar mitzvah.
What?
Sorry, I misread that. Archbishop Isaac Welby Stein undermines his office by taking sides on immigration. He's for it for some reason. Don't know why.
How did he get from bar mitzvah to immigration?
I just assumed he was doing something Jewish. What with being a Jew, it's like funny. It's like imagine it's like as a boy I always wanted to be the Archbishop of Canterbury. Yeah, but you're Jewish. That shouldn't be a barrier to me being Archbishop.
It depends if he sees himself as if he thinks it's just a religious thing, isn't it?
There's another hour-long talk by Windows on the World.
There was that thing, weren't there? That survey where it's about 62% of people in the CV don't believe in God.
Yeah, and
Church of England, what?
So in other words, in other words, Arch Rabbi Bishop Justin Welby is the ideal person to lead such a congregation. The curse of scientism. Have you heard about scientism? You know, this dogmatic thing of trust the science is settled, safe and effective. Well, there's an hour-long documentary on that by Windows on the World, and in that, 2 quotes I really liked. One was brainless Brian Cox, and isn't my brain amazing? Some say it's as empty as the void of space. Scientism.
Have a watch party of Brian Cox's greatest hits, to be honest.
Oh, what? Things can only get better.
Yeah.
Scientism has become another word for fraud. Too true. What else we got there?
Well, you know what scientists and politicians have in common? They both go to the highest bidder, don't they?
Well, that is true. Oh, this is pretty good. Okay. Right, so there's these guys with didgeridoos, and they're lifting up bits of tin foil with it, saying that's how the pyramids were built, and it's like...
You've seen this memory TV meme? The main character, SpongeBob, lives inside a giant pineapple. How do you think he acquired that house? Through jihad.
What's this? Fraser posted from the Earth to the Moon with freaking laser beams and retro reflectors.
That's the laser beam thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, okay.
What's the difference between What's the difference between Carl Rittenhouse and the vaccine?
Safe and effective.
Carl's first 3 shots were effective.
Oh yes, no, I'm glad you posted that freaking laser beams thing, because no, this is just harkening
it's just back you just have to think about it for 5 minutes, and you're like, wait, hold on a second.
So, just to harken back to one of our previous episodes, we did talk about the technology of the moon and these retroreflectors, and how I actually read the article out. No, you can't buy these lasers, and no, you're not allowed to know how big they are. It's just like, come on, give us a ballpark, mate. Let me say, what is it? 5 megawatts? Is it 5 watts? Is it 5 kilowatts? What sort of range laser are we dealing with? It
has to be huge. Like lasers, commercial lasers don't go longer than 15, 20 miles, right?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't know.
High-powered ones, the laser tests over lakes have gone to like 15 miles, like 20 miles ish, but they're high-powered lasers, like.
So the lasers, I try to find information about the lasers and the observation things, and it's all hush hush. You're not allowed to know about it. It's just like, Why is there a cover-up about this? Why can't I just be like told, yeah, here's how our laser works. This is how Siemens manufactured it. This is the amount of energy it produces. Here's our capacitor bank. And, oh look, we've shined it at the moon and we've got this many photons back.
There's another cartoon. I'm looking through Fortean on Twitter. There's another one. It's a cartoon from Facebook. So it's a dude being dragged up through a force field for, like a whatever they zap people in the air with. So he goes, does this beam only lift me? How do you avoid pulling up dirt and leaves and stuff? If I kick off my shoes, will they fall? Is my weight pulling your ship downward? What'll happen if a bat flies through the beam? Hey, why does your ship have those blinky lights? Are they? Moments later, the aliens set me back down and left.
Oh, and here's a good one. It's always a firm favourite of mine. It's the secret supernatural World War II. But Hemming's posted something called Hitler's Monsters, a supernatural history of the Third Reich.
I can't remember.
Did you know that Winston Churchill, being a member of the Druids, and he commissioned a witch's coven to give Hitler really bad headaches?
Oh yeah, there was a whole witchcraft war during World War II.
Really? Or were they using psychic? And
yeah, Oswald Mosley was wishing piles upon him.
Have a look at this that I've just put up. So you're gonna have to wait probably a couple of seconds, but this is interesting. The haphazard arrangement of those cables. No, the haphazard arrangement. It's the liver birds on top of. Is it Liverpool Town Hall? I think.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But look at the completely coincidental haphazard arrangement of those cables. I think that's what they're driving at with this. Not even slightly pentagramish, is it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you mean. Well, no, it's just the fact that. What?
I'll tell you what. When I was my mate and I, we drove through the city of London years ago, and we played Spot the Symbol, and we just saw these gargoyles and Illuminati symbols everywhere. It's really chock-a-block with scary stuff. Oh, and finally, I think we're overlapping old stuff. NASA is just Satan minus the T. That's why they say T minus when they blast off. Now, someone could say, well, not really, that doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, yeah? Well, why are they, demonic? Why do so many Mormons work for NASA?
Here's one from Ian. It's teachers seize disco equipment from 12-year-old boy who hosted rave in school toilets.
We did that on JDLE. Do you remember?
Oh, did we?
Yeah. I that boy is like, yeah. That was good because they kept saying no, you can't DJ it here. So he's like, all right, I'll do it in the toilets.
Yeah.
Imagine having a rave in the loo.
No, it could possibly be that simple, could it?
Right, I'm done. You guys got anything?
No,
I didn't really have much to say about those articles. It's just like, oh yeah, the scientism cult is saying that we should eat bugs and huff our own farts to stay warm.
Oh, fuck me, really?
Oh, they always come at some.
Now, is that it?
Well, do you remember when the Germans were all going to freeze to death until they spent €1 trillion on natural gas? They said, oh yeah, what you should do, right, is get a candle and put a teapot over it. Not a teapot, a terracotta flower pot, yeah. And then there was a load of firemen saying, yeah, don't do this because it reflects the heat back onto the candle, it goes molten, and it bursts into flames. We've had to, pull out many fires this way. And then there was maybe we should just spend €1 trillion on liquid petroleum gas from America. And then Joe Biden was like, I get 2 scoops of ice cream. Oh, thanks for buying all my LPG, Germany. And then, Russia was like, well, we'll just blow up our own pipelines because that makes sense.
Puffer jacket? The pup's got... Oh. No, it's not. It's an AI picture of the Pope. Someone did an AI picture of the Pope wearing a puffer jacket.
Yeah, I thought it was a real one.
Yeah, so did I. They're getting good these things, aren't they?
And the cryptarchs make
Well, that's why in the Food Network
Yeah,
chat,
they're
there's
getting
a
good. They've been good for years, man.
there's
House.
a question in the 37 Food Network. You know, which is the real key lime pie and which is the AI render? And I'll tell you what. Even though I know the answer, I'm looking at the AI generator one, and I was like, that doesn't look fake to me. That looks real.
I thought it looked fake because of the twirly bit on the top.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that looked fake.
Apparently, the reason why the AI generated one is wrong is because they say the limes in the background are positioned at funny angles, and the plate is curvy. It sort of distracts from the pie, and normally people that take photographs of food are like really autistic about angles and such.
Yeah, well, they even autistic about it not being food.
Imagine programming the AI with autism. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Oh, speaking of which, I'm getting this PayPal advert on my phone. It's the one with the fat black woman, and she's wearing like a bin bag and dancing along. She's really fat, by the way, and she's dancing in this, like, it looks like a concrete industrial prison. There's no wallpaper, there's no ceiling tiles. It's just cast concrete. I did do a boomer tech and took a recording of it because I want people to see this advert. I can't find a YouTube
You did ask
link
them
on
to
it.
give you a link to it, but they didn't, did they? Have it?
They just like, fuck you, you white devil. PayPal's not for whitey.
Did you know we have a brand new island?
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, 5 miles off Lymington in the Solent, between the Isle of Wight and the rest of the country, measuring 330 feet by 65 feet. I suppose the Dominion of Melchijek will be annexing that soon. Then the island has been named. The island has been named Lentune Island after the original name for Lymington, and has been claimed for the UK. Original by who? No one's ever settled here before. We just kind of, everybody just piled on in the 50s, didn't they?
Everyone's immigrants.
Yeah. Okay. Original. I'm interested to find out who the original Brits are, because I get
no, there's no such thing.
Yeah. So,
it's Cheddar Man, and he's black. Except he wasn't.
Yeah, gives me that island.
I said, but
Chris Fox. So it was named by two sailors from Lymington Yacht Club, Chris Fox and Nick Riley, who planted the club's flag on it. The island formed naturally, probably as a result of sea defence work at nearby Hurst Castle, altering local currents.
Okay.
Oh, lasers apparently bounce off the moon, Alphabet Cat says.
yes. Well,
What?
off the 5 retro reflectors that exist there.
Nope. How about this? Public health officials in Middlesbrough, Cleveland, are investigating a local restaurant after a video shot by a passerby went viral. The video seems to show a man outside the back door of the restaurant cooking a chicken by suspending it in a shopping trolley and blasting it with a flame from a blowtorch connected to a large propane tank. In the clip, the man filming it can be heard say, "Fucking hell, I'm not eating that." Cindy Lau from Bristol, a very Bristolian name that. Not quite sure what it means in Old English though. Bought several fish for her freezer from a London fishmonger, including a crucian carp. 48 hours after returning home, she got the fish out of her fridge and was surprised to find the carp's gills were still moving. So Lau and her partner, Paul Lewis Borman, put the fish in their bath, and after 20 minutes it perked up and fully recovered, at which point she probably cooked it while it was... Have you seen that one with the Chinese person that cooks the fish while it's alive?
No.
Oh no, they like to skin it. It's not cooked, and then they just like put soy sauce on it and go, yeah, grubs up.
Yeah, while it's still breathing. He could not stay there, and he... What was on? Needless to say, it could not stay there, and it did put you off when you were trying to use the toilet, said Lewis Portman. So the fish, now named Lazarus, has been found at home with a local koi carp enthusiast. So, lucky old carp there.
Koi carp enthusiast, what does that mean? He's going to eat it.
Have you ever heard of Thomas Michelino?
No, I have not.
His ice cream parlour in Rottenburg am Neckar, southern Germany, has a reputation for creating innovative and experimental flavours. Previously, he has offered ice cream in chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla. No, don't be stupid. They're ridiculous flavours to have ice cream in, aren't they?
I like a strawberry flavoured ice cream.
But it's ridiculous, Hobbit. No one ever eats that.
Do you remember when Heston Blumenthal was like, hey, I've got a Michelin star, I know, I'm going to put white chocolate with bacon. That's a good idea.
No, I'll tell you what you want. You want ice cream covered in gold leaf, ice cream covered in liver sausage, and then obviously gorgonzola cheese ice cream. They're the flavors of ice cream you want.
Well, one of the ones which is quite popular.
He's also got new Klaus Schwab flavour. Can you imagine what that is, Hobbit?
Crickets.
Yeah,
locust.
Cricket. He's now offering cricket flavour made with insect flour and dried crickets on top. I'm very curious.
Sounds like a good German.
I think he might be Indian. I'm a very curious person and want to try everything because I can't do German.
Quite literally everything, right?
He says, adding that his cricket concoction. It's funny how all these people are just, I'm just going to make cricket because I just fancy doing that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just fancy doing cricket. Just, that's it. Let's try cricket flavour. Just thinking of it like that. Kenny Smith's watching.
In Japan, one of the popular flavours there is
kebab flavour.
Kebab flavour? No, is sea salt flavour. So I don't know if it's with vanilla or anything else, or it's just
because obviously there you go. You got
caramel.
A nice sweet thing there. It's just shovel some.
I don't. Let me just find out. See if it is sweet and salty, or if it's just like. Yeah, it's cream, eggs, and salt. Japan, sea, water, flavored ice cream. Let me find out. So I think it's sea salt ice cream. Kingdom Hearts wiki. 10 most unique ice cream flavors in Japan. I bet squid's one of them. It's got to be. They love squid over there. There'll be that
use panty flavor.
There'll be that green tea flavour as well. So let me see. What have we got? Golden ice cream. Kinbaku. People in Kanazawa love ice cream. Really?
Is cricket ice cream in there, Hobbit?
I don't think they eat crickets in Japan, although they do eat a bunch of unsavoury things.
I don't know. They have some weird stuff. This is probably way too old for you, but do you remember Clive James on telly? He used to be on a Sunday night.
I do. He was the
do you remember when he used to show that thing? What was that fucking Japanese game show? Oh fuck! What was it called? I had it for a second.
It's the one where they blow the cockroach into each other's mouths through the pipe.
Was it Submission or Surrender or something like that? Weren't it?
It's one of those Japanese game shows.
Got it. It's Endurance.
Endurance. That's it. Yeah. Oh, so anyway, Kinpaku Golden Leaf.
And that's what they do for fun, so God knows what they eat.
Yes, I've seen Japanese pornography. So back in 1583, it's been part of the city's heritage to this day, a golden leaf. You can find golden ice cream in popular tourist in Kanazawa, like the Kenuruken Garden and Kanazawa Castle. So what is it? It doesn't say what it is. It's an ice cream with some gold leaf on it. So I assume that's vanilla. Miso ice cream. Isn't miso their version of like oxtail soup? It's like a savoury broth.
Oh God.
So the company Marukami Miso is headquartered in Nagano City and helps small-scale miso makers together produce 40% of Japan's supply of miso. The Surya Lakame shop in Nagano City has been making miso for 100 years anyway. You can have miso soup and some miso soft serve for dessert.
Miso hungry.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Miso sick.
The saltiness of miso perfectly matches the sweetness of ice cream, with a flavour closely
No, it
resemble
doesn't.
salty caramel or peanut butter. Except it's miso. It's not. Would you like some lavender ice cream?
Go fucking ruin someone else's. Lavender might be okay because you get. Aren't Parma Violets supposed to be like lavender flavour?
Ah, they're made from the violets, aren't they? But the lavender honey's really good. So, yeah, I guess largest lavender farm in Japan, which is Farm Tomita, and from spring to autumn, over 1 million tourists come visit the farm for its beautiful flower sites.
1 million tourists.
So, did you want horseradish ice cream? Because they do wasabi ice cream. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, I fucking love horseradish. I do.
But I just put fucking Frank's hot sauce on it and just be done with it.
Yeah. There's horchata.
Smear shit on it. Fucking
Hang on, isn't don't give the Japs ideas. Isn't horchata Mexican? Oh no, wait, I'm misreading it. Hojicha ice cream. So what is that? It's a dark roasted tea, reddish in colour, and has an earthy flavour. Oh, okay, yes, a tea flavoured ice cream. Soy sauce ice cream.
Yeah,
of course.
Definitely.
Yeah, you know what'd be better than soy sauce flavoured ice cream? Anything? Would you like an ice cream?
Whale ice cream. I'm surprised Japanese haven't invented that yet.
Yeah, they probably do. Sweet potato ice cream, because who wants cream when you can have sweet potato? They love sweet potato.
They do boiled alive dog flavour.
No, you have to go to China or Taiwan for that. They love
ice cream.
Something about Japan, they love sweet potato. I'm not sure what it is about the Japs, but they can't get enough of it. Sesame ice cream, that's going to be like, do you know, what's that Middle Eastern sweet called? Halva. That's probably going to be like halva then. Soba ice cream, it's one to have when you're drunk. The Togakushi area in Nagano is a famous place for soba noodles. So, soba ice cream, soba flavoured ice cream. The savoury taste combined with sweetness so, what is it? Ice cream made from soba noodles? I don't understand.
What?
Yeah, you want soba noodle flavoured ice cream, right?
Yeah.
This doesn't sound like food. Shiratsu ice cream. That's a type of massage, isn't it?
Shiatsu ice cream.
Found exclusively on
Indoshima. Just throw it at your back. Is that what? They just throw it at your back like a snowball.
Sort of high-speed pelting of your shoulders and neck. Yeah. Found exclusively on Endoshima Island in Kanagawa, Shiratsu ice cream is known as a local delicacy. Shiratsu are young sardine eels that... Oh, okay, yeah, so...
No!
So, sardine eels, but it's definitely an interesting find when you try on vacation. You know what could make this vanilla ice cream better? It's just some fried eels, yeah. But nothing about seawater flavoured ice cream. I just wanted to find the ingredients in seawater flavoured ice cream. So how to make sea salt ice cream from Kingdom Hearts. Blue seal ice cream in Okinawa. Okay, so sea salt ice cream, Kingdom Hearts seems to be like the way. So you get eggs, milk, sugar, vanilla, cream, sea salt, blue food colouring, and green food colouring, and that's how you make sea salt flavoured ice cream. So it's your normal vanilla ice cream, but then you're putting a teaspoon of sea salt in it, which is the same.
I don't think 2 nuclear bombs was enough.
I don't think a third nuclear bomb is advisable because, I mean, look how fucked up anime is now. Do you want to, like, do you want to?
It's the balance, isn't it? You got anime and then fucking ice cream.
Yeah.
So anyway, just to finish the one I was doing, he said adding his cricket concoction has a surprisingly yummy taste. It's funny how he picks out of all of those flavours. It's funny how he picks out the cricket one. That's just weird, isn't it? I'm just gonna say that's just odd.
Why doesn't he say like the liver and sauerkraut one's got a surprisingly nice taste?
Well, obviously the cricket is surprisingly yummy, so you should go out and try it now and stop being a bigot and stop destroying the earth.
I'll tell you what, you eat this shiatsu massage ice cream, and I'll throw the cricket ice cream on your back. How about that?
I think people should throw it at this geezer's face. No, I don't actually. I'm not inciting that.
Alphabet cat. Fugu is not actually toxic. The reason the pufferfish is because it's covered in bacteria, which are really toxic. So it turns out if you farm fugu fish, they don't have it. But the thing is, they say the best.
It's not that. It's a different fish.
The pufferfish.
It's like no, it's not the pufferfish. It's like is it like the stonefish or something?
Fugu is pufferfish. Let me have a look. I'm going to type in fugu fish.
I'm not sure it's not pufferfish.
Fugu fish. Let's have a look. The fugu is a pufferfish of the genus Tachyfugu, Lagocephalus or Spipherids. It's not the spiny pufferfish, so there is that. No, the thing is, I'm told the best fugu is the sort that when you're eating it, it makes your lips go numb.
Well, that's a venom then, isn't it? Oh shit! Is it
yeah,
a venom?
It is.
What is it? There's a venom and what are the two things? Yeah, fugu contains lethal amounts of the poison tetrodotoxin in its organs, especially the liver, ovaries, eyes, and skin. The poison, a sodium channel blocker, paralyses the muscles while the victim stays fully conscious. The poison victim is unable to breathe, eventually dies from asphyxiation.
Well, that's why.
Killer ice cream. Nice.
They sort of have the poison control.
So researchers have determined the fugu's tetrodotoxin comes from eating other animals infested with tetrodotoxin-laden bacteria, to which the fish develops an insensitivity over time. Whether tetrodotoxin is sequestered from or produced by symbiotic bacteria is still debated. As such, efforts have been made in research and aquaculture to allow farmers to produce safe fugu. Farmers now produce poison-free fugu by keeping the fish away from the bacteria. So there you go.
What? Wait, wow! So it isn't even poisonous, really. It's just
not if you buy the. Obviously, if you have the wild one, it is.
Yeah. Interesting.
So there's a 3-year license program. About 35% of the applicants pass. Small miscalculations result in failure, in rare cases, death. But as far as I know, that you don't really die. Oh yeah, from...
Starfleet was worth the nuclear bombs. Oigington's referencing. Didn't I make you watch some Starfleet, Hubbard?
No, I never got round to watching it. I was just like, what's
Starfleet. It's not really. It's I can't remember if Jerry Anderson had anything to do with it, but Starfleet was another puppet series. The thing being is they had 5 different vehicles that could join together and turn into a big robot.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, based.
It was. I think it was a joint. It was some sort of joint Japan, America, maybe, or maybe British. I don't think. But yeah, I remember researching it when we did the Dope Movies and Shows on Jerry Anderson.
Yes. Still annoyed that Captain Scarlet ended on a bloody clip show.
Yeah. How about this one then? A Chinese man named only as Hu, that's HU, not WHO, was using a large hydrogen balloon to hoist him and a partner into treetops to collect pine nuts in Heilong Jianggang province, I think, or something like that. When it slipped away its mooring and started to float away, Hu's colleague managed to jump. I sound posh now, don't I? Whom's colleague managed to jump off. But Hu was swept aloft with the balloon. After a desperate search, rescuers were able to contact Hu by phone the following morning, advising him to slowly deflate the balloon, bringing it down to safely. It took him all night to figure that one out. He eventually landed 200 miles away, suffering from nothing more than a pain in his back.
Hey, speaking of like people surviving falls, it tends to be Russians. They're like, Oh, I've fallen out of fifth-story apartment window, and I was off on my face on vodka. Survived with only a few cuts and bruises. No broken bones.
How about this one then? I bet knock knock. Who's there? Crocodile. Bit him in the thigh. You heard a knock on the door, answered it, and turned out to be a crocodile. He bit him on the leg.
Oh right, okay.
Daytona Beach, Florida. That was.
That doesn't follow the traditional knock knock. Who's there? Sort.
Knock knock. Who's there? Ah, me leg. How about this one then? Physicist John Hems was captured the world record for the longest distance call made with a tin can and string telephone. His device, in fact made using 2 yogurt pots and a wire, was 374 metres long and stretched from the lookout point at Connaught Gardens to Bedford Steps on the Esplanade in Sidmouth, Devon, from where Hems successfully received the call from his colleague Dr. George Littlejohn saying, "This is Sidmouth Science Festival, world record tin can telephone." What else have we got here? 17-year-old using a cash machine in Cranhill, Glasgow, was pounced on by a hooded man who held a knife at his throat and demanded money. The victim, though, recognised his assailant from his voice and eyes as his father and said, "Are you serious? Do you know who this is?" To which the man replied, "I'm sorry, I'm desperate," before fleeing. He was later arrested at home, and in court his lawyer said his mother, brother and son are all extremely angry at him. What's he grassing you done it for the cops were trying to slit your throat at a cash point?
So it's like, come on, son, give us your money. No, da.
No, da. Dog walker in Staten Island, New York, got a macabre surprise when his dog returned carrying a human hand. Fingerprinting showed that it belonged to a 63-year-old woman who died in 2011 and was buried in a cemetery about a mile away from where the hand was found. Her grave had recently been disturbed during an interment in a neighbouring plot, but authorities couldn't explain how her hand ended up a mile away. Ooh. After world champion boxer Tyson Fury claimed he'd use mind power to beat his opponents, psychic Uri Geller has challenged him to a telepathic battle, saying anyone who can master telepathy and knocking out or confusing his opponent is going to win. So you're looking forward to Geller versus Fury.
Geller versus Fury.
Wildlife officials checking on one of their motion-activated trail cams from thousands of acres of wilderness outside Boulder, Colorado, were surprised to find that out of 580 images it had taken, 400 were of the same bear. Oh, how about this one then? A girl born at a hospital in rural Mexico surprised doctors by arriving with a tail 5.7 centimeters long and 3.5 millimeters inches in diameter. It was covered in skin and hair and contained muscle and nerves that were connected to the rest of the child's nervous system, so that she cried when it was prodded with a needle. Fuck! Why did they take it away from her? She could have been one of the X-Men or something.
Yeah.
Bastards.
You know what I'd develop into. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Nightcrawler, like... Let's go. Teleportation.
X-rays showed the tail did not contain any bones or abnormal structures, so qualified as a true tail. So she wouldn't have been able to wag it or anything.
Spooky things. What's all that about then?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Right, that's alright. Am I... Oh. Chat's still there. Oh, that's it. No, we're all back now.
Good.
My internet just shit the bed for a second there. I don't know why. So, an Israeli caught up in a bomb attack in Jerusalem had a lucky escape when a piece of lethal shrapnel was stopped by a copy of the Book of Psalms that he had in his pocket. The shrapnel partly pierced the book, penetrating to Psalm 124, which reads, "Our soul escaped like a bird from the hunter's snare. The snare broke and we escaped."
Yeah.
I bet, mate, you there?
Sort of.
Okay.
What are you talking about, Willis?
I'm just going through the sidelines from the latest Fortean.
Cool.
God, Ian, you sound different.
Do I sound different?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like he's got a better mic.
I know.
That'll be why I thought I'd had mic problems. It is a new mic, so...
Because Ian's here, I'll do the next one. Sausage Party.
Sausage party.
Surfdale on New Zealand's Wahiki Island has been plagued by a mysterious prankster dubbed the Surfdale Sausager. Is this you, Ian? Who has been posting sausages slathered in tomato ketchup and wrapped in bread through residents' letterboxes in the middle of the night for over a year. It happens at least once a month. At the very bare minimum, says Jacob, a Surfdale resident, adding, I know you're out there, I just know one thing.
Before got it made the monster famous was 90 years ago, and the Fortean Times has done a special edition on it, which I purchased but I've not read yet. And it should be good.
Oh, what's that? The one about Nessie?
Yeah, have you got that one? Nessie?
Yeah, I've got that one.
Yeah.
I think internet's back to normal now.
Nice. Yeah, I get free donuts from Lidl's, pretty good. Free donuts and pastry. We're back. Yep. I think we're live. We are live. I can see the live building.
Are we live? Are we back?
We're back. Yeah, what is this live? Is that the live building I see in front of me?
Yeah, we were looking at the birds on it.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, it's good to be back. Is Hemi there? Because he was breaking up a bit. Yeah, somewhere. Well, anyway, so that's where we are. So we're back live now. So have to at what point? Ah, good. Yeah, Alphabet Cat says back can hear you, so that's good, and hopefully we get a few more joining us shortly. Sorry
Nice.
about that, everyone.
Just enjoying a pretzel at the moment.
Yeah. Don't eat with your mouth full. So,
Don't speak with your mouth full.
Yeah. Speak when you're spoken to, and don't answer back. How does that work? Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, so we'll wait for Hemi to come back on if he was in the middle of a story. But as I said, though,
I've been talking that whole time and I was muted.
Yeah.
Well done, dickhead.
Yeah. I've just been talking all that time. Right, so
It's
yeah,
been
I've been here. I felt like I felt like one of those games where you ignore somebody.
Yeah.
And sped up as well.
No, you're alright, mate.
It
Like
sounds
Benny
you're on
Hill.
it sounds like you're on 1.5 speed.
Could that be because you're playing the video in 1.5 speed?
There's something
No.
something
No, you
Ian
don't
and
sound like
Fraser's voice sound the same.
Oh, okay.
something funny going on with your phone.
That's you then, I bet.
Oh, wait.
If everyone sounds like they're on 1.5 speed, that might be a you problem of it.
I am slow. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, where were we anyway before we went off air?
Should we get into your trouser snake or whatever it is you're talking about tonight?
The Pensicola sea monster, yeah. So I did send you a few pictures, not many, but hopefully you've got those on hand so we can show the viewers as we get to them, and you can help me in that way. I'm only trying to help you, Roland. So let's have a look.
Roland.
Yeah. So. Alright then, so not such a long presentation today, so we've got time for other stuff as well. But what we're going to look at today is a Fortean classic and tackle the disturbing case of the Pensicola sea serpent. So,
what's that? Did you get your tackle out?
Yeah, I'm going to get my tackle out. Yeah. I'm going to send dick pics around. So, without further ado, let's get stuck into the case. So. On the 10th of June, 1893, The warship USS Massachusetts BB-2 was launched in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the good old US of A. The ship was an Indiana-class pre-dreadnought battleship and the second United States Navy ship comparable to foreign battleships of its time. So, Hemi, could you just show us the first picture I sent? We can have a look at
bollocks.
this USS.
I haven't even looked at any of that.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You need to look at this.
This is some top
people are
stuff.
Thinking, this isn't a story about a sea serpent. The guy's talking shit. What's he on about? But you'll see as we go along, as we get into it, it'll all come together. But I'd like to see the picture and show.
I'm still getting loads of emails from Contact in the Desert. They really want me to contact in the desert.
And penis enlargements. And an African prince.
How about this one then? I've got an email from Nina from Fairy Chamber YouTube channel. She creates online courses on various topics related to spirituality, mythology and folklore, and she's looking for people to take her courses for free and leave a review. Do you want to have a go at that, Ian?
Oh, yeah, forward that one to me. I'll have a look at that.
You're a bit of a fairy, aren't you?
I will try anything once. So anyway, I'm still waiting. Let's have a look at the picture of the battle.
This is going to be a while.
I sent it to you yesterday, but what we'll do?
I know you did, but I don't. I'll find that anyway.
All right, okay.
This is. I've got to download it first. Oh, there's only 5 pictures. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep talking. I'll get it.
I've stuck it in our Discord chat there anyway. So anyway, okay then. Back to the story. Massachusetts served in the Spanish-American War as part of the flying squadron that took part in the blockades of Cienfuegos and Santiago de Cuba. The ship was used as a training vessel for gun crews during World War I and was decommissioned in March 1919. In 1921, the ship was scuttled in shallow water off the Gulf of Mexico, off Pensicola, and was used as a target for experimental artillery. The vessel was never scrapped, and it is here that it remains to this day, and part of the wreck can be seen sticking out of the water. So, if you want to show that picture, Hemi, that would be good.
I'm getting there.
Because we can see, I put it in our chat, and I'll put the second picture there. You can actually see the ship, the shadow, the eerie shadow of the ship under the water. But anyway, so that's where we are. That's the introduction.
Got it. There we go. We're up.
Let's have a look there. We can show the people at home. Let's have a look at the. So that's the battleship in all its glory when it was functional. And if you go to the next picture there, Hemi, we can actually see the battleship as it looks today. We've got an aerial shot of the ship, and that's what it's. That's where it is. So,
right, next picture.
Just having a swig of Lidl Lager. Since 1993, the wreck has been a Florida underwater archaeological preserve, and it is included in the National Register of Historical Places. Over the years, the site has become an artificial reef and a popular spot for scuba diving expeditions. One such expedition took place on the 24th of March 1962, when 5 teenagers boarded a 7-foot Air Force life raft at a fishing pier at the western tip of Santa Rosa Island. They began the 2-mile journey out to sea to explore the wreck of the USS Massachusetts. The raft was equipped with a drift anchor and oars. The teenagers who boarded the raft that day were Brian McCleary, 16, and his friends, who were all from the town of Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Eric Rule, 16. Bradford Rice, 14. Warren Felly, 17. And Larry Bill, 15. It was a sunny Florida day, but McCleary noticed that the water was cold as they launched the raft. The boys took it in turns to paddle the raft, and as the journey progressed, they noticed that the wreck of the Massachusetts was to the left of them. But when they had started, the wreck was to the right. In other words, the current was pushing them to the left. The weather then started to change. The sky clouded over, and the wind picked up, and the sea became choppy. They decided to turn back, but the wind and the waves were pushing them into the Bay Channel. Rule, McCleary, and Sally jumped into the icy water and began kicking behind the raft, while Bill and Rice took the oars in an attempt to get the vessel back on course. The tide was too strong, so they got back into the raft, shivering from the cold. The waves were now so high that they had to hold on to the sides of the raft. Are you with me? Just having a slug of lager. One moment.
How high? This high?
Oh, it's nice. Anyway, as the sky continued to darken, they spotted a small craft in the distance and attempted to get its attention to help them, but had no success. As they realised they were stranded out at sea in bad weather with strong currents, panic began to set in. McCleary then spotted a nautical buoy floating about a mile in the distance, so the group began paddling towards it so that they could attach their drag anchor to it. As they approached the 6-foot-tall red metal buoy, they attempted to lasso the anchor, but failed due to the rough sea, and their raft ended up capsizing. McCleary was able to flip the raft back over, and the boys were able to climb back inside. But then it started to piss down. Not having much luck on this trip, are they? So,
having a good time, aren't they?
Yeah, sounds like a nightmare. The raft was carried further out to sea, and the 5 teens lost track of time. But eventually the rain tapered off into a fine mist, and the sea subsided to a dead calm. A thick fog then rolled in, limiting their visibility to about 7 meters, and they decided that all they could do was sit and wait. Suddenly, Bill said that he could hear a boat, but no one else could hear anything.
Oh, you're talking about Pensicola.
Yeah, this is peanut. Where have you been? Are you back on?
No, I was just thinking, like, what's he on about? This isn't like some Antarctic expedition. It's like, no, we're talking about Pensicola, the famous Florida thingy.
Yeah, exactly. The diving expedition. I don't know where you got Arctic from, but anyway, let's have a look.
I just think a lot about Antarctica.
Yeah. Good. Think of Alaska as well.
Alaska. Oh,
yeah,
actually, yes. That was in the first half of tonight's show, where
Alaska.
Fraser and I did talk about Alaska and Kamchatka. No,
Yeah.
Vladivostok.
Vladivostok and Ophelia Dick.
Another
Anyway,
fallout.
yes, right.
Yes.
Everard Dick. Anyway, all right. Back to this though. Anyway, the air then suddenly became thick with the sickening smell of dead fish. Then, about 12 meters from the raft was a tremendous splash, which generated a wave, which reached the raft and broke over the side. They then heard another splash, and through the fog they could see a shadowy form, which looked like a telephone pole, about 10 foot tall, with a bulbous form on top. It stood there for a moment. What?
I think I read about this in a porn mag.
Yeah. Anyway,
bulbous
it stood
form,
there for a moment.
throbbing form on top.
Yeah, with pre-cum sipping out. The plumber then knocked on the door, and my nightie fell open and all that stuff, whatever. And then the video went all fuzzy.
Yeah. Here's one. You seen Penny Mordaunt in the comments? She said, "We're not just wondering how much longer those Calmac ferries will be in the dock, but also how many SMP figures will as well."
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, back to this though. So anyway, they then heard another splash, and through the fog they could see the shadowy form, which looked like a telephone pole with a bulbous head. It stood there for a moment, then bent in the middle and dove under the water. A high-pitched whine then broke the silence, and the boys panicked. They decided to put their flippers on and jump into the water, which was now covered in patches of brown slime. McCleary noticed
Is
slight current.
this some sort of repressed memory from the previous year's summer camp, do you think, Ian?
Yeah, well, that could be a theory. We'll look at that later. McCleary noticed a slight current, and he hoped that this would lead to the shore. Instead, they decided to head to the wreck of the Massachusetts. Royal and McCleary took the lead, and the other three, with the other three close behind. Whatever they had seen, they could now hear hissing and splashing behind them. The fog was clearing, but the water was getting rougher. It began raining again, and the water was getting colder. As they swam towards the wreck, they suddenly heard a scream, and Sally yelled, "It's got Brad!" But his yells were suddenly cut off by a short cry. McCleary yelled back to Felly and Rice, and there was no response. By this time, Bill had got caught up with Royal and McCleary, and the sounds they could only hear were the ocean and the thunder. So, McCleary then slipped into a fatigued state, unaware of the ocean depth or what was out there, and imagined sinking peacefully to the bottom. The cramping and pain in his legs snapped him back into reality, and he realised Bill had vanished. He and Rule drove under the water to look for him, but there was no sign of Bill. Rule was cramping up badly now, and he went underwater. McCleary managed to get Rule to hold on to him, and they began swimming. They struggled through the water for several hours in the dark night, waves breaking over their heads. Just as McCleary was about to give up, a lightning stick lit up the sky, a wave broke over them, and the two were separated. Another bolt of lightning showed Rule ahead of him, and suddenly the telephone pole creature surfaced next to Rule. McCleary noted the long neck, small eyes of the beast. The mouth opened, and the beast dove on top of Rule. McCleary screamed and swam for his life. The following morning, a fisherman discovered an exhausted McCleary sleeping in an abandoned watchtower on the shore. He had no recollection of swimming the 2 miles back to shore, and his 4 friends were nowhere to be found. So, yeah. McCleary produced a sketch of what he saw that night. So let's have a look at the next picture. We'll have a look at this there. We'll study this, if you could, Hemi.
Next photo.
Picture number 3. Yeah, picture number 3. The sketch McCleary produced of the creature.
Is this the big bulbous throbbing
There's the bulbous head.
warrior?
Kind of a Muppet type head on it, isn't it? A Muppet mouth.
Yeah.
Slit for a mouth. Small eye. And a boy in the background. Oh. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I've decided to listen back to the stream. You'll be pleased to know that you sound fine on the stream. You just sound ratty to us.
Okay.
Oh, me?
How
you? Oh, right. Okay, that's fine then.
I sound fine. I'm perfect.
You're always
golden.
clear.
Yeah.
You've got very
It's good old Discord, isn't it?
Anyway, so there you have it. It's quite a tale, and whatever that happened that night, it can't be ignored that 5 youths went out to sea and only 1 returned. The raft was washed up on the shore a few miles away on Gulf Beach. Shoes, swimming fins, and face masks were still inside, so they must have had COVID in those days. No, not that kind of face mask, diving face mask.
Okay.
But anyway, we'll move on. All right, that didn't get the laughter I hoped for.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was an Air Force life raft constructed with numerous pockets to store gear. So it's possible that those items remained on board despite the rough seas. A week later, the body of Bradford Rice would wash ashore. The cause of death was listed as drowning. And you can actually see the grave of Bradford Rice if you look at let's look at the following picture. We can see there Bradford Rice, Bradford J. Rice. You put that up there, next picture there, Hemi.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, yes, stick it up, let's have a look, just as evidence that these boys did exist.
Well, someone called Bradford J. Rice existed.
Yeah, him. So, 1947 to 1962, and 62 was when the disaster happened, obviously. So yeah, that's that. The rest of the boys would never be found. The official story released was that after the boys' raft capsized in rough waters, they had simply drowned. The reporters interviewing McCleary told him that their stories would not mention the sea serpent, as it was better left unmentioned for all concerned. Because you have to remember, there were 4 grieving families who had lost their sons after the event, and the last thing they wanted to hear at
is
the
about
time
purple-headed warriors.
Exactly, is the tale of a sea serpent, you know. So McCleary,
I don't think it was its tail that popped out of the water.
Yeah, it was something long and thick, wasn't it? So
yeah.
Anyhow, McCleary would suffer a nervous breakdown after the incident. His version of the story involving the monstrous sea serpent wouldn't become public until May of 1965, when he would publish the story in Fate magazine. The story would be titled "My Escape from a Sea Monster."
Yeah, I've read Fate magazine. I've read it once.
Does it exist anymore? It's something from the 60s, isn't it? I don't think they have it these days, do they? It's a sort of like Fortean Times is more.
Yeah,
it'll give you the information, but it won't.
Fortean Times one.
Yeah, it's more sensible. Whereas Fate magazine, I think, was more sensationalist. You know, they would report various things. Anyway, so what really happened that day, though? Speculation ranges from the incredible to the mundane. Perhaps it was an unknown sea serpent. Some have thought it might have been a prehistoric survivor, such as the plesiosaur. Others have suggested it was a giant squid. Another theory is that the boys may have encountered a North Atlantic right whale, which would be a terrifying encounter from a raft. It rises mysteriously up out of the water, glides along, turns side to side sometimes, and sinks back down without a trace. In the right light, the baleen can look almost invisible, and all you can see is a skinny top part which looks remarkably like a head and neck. And we can see such an effect. If we go to the next picture there, Hemi, the next picture, we'll have a look at that and see what we mean. This is the North Atlantic right whale, which is feeding there. And as you can see, if you were into the right light, that could easily be a head and neck, couldn't it? So,
what's that?
A Loch Ness type creature.
What's that?
Okay.
What
so is this a saltwater Nessie then?
Yeah, this is a sea serpent.
Yeah, but it don't look like a neck.
I always thought.
Well, it does, doesn't it? You know, if that came up a bit further.
Well, maybe if you were blind and you'd lost your glasses.
Well, you know, if your sight is exactly. Velma from Scooby Doo.
That's not a head.
Well,
no, it's not. It's the tip of a blue whale snout, isn't it?
Velma from Scooby Doo would probably, you know,
she'd go, yeah, I'll
Pinkies.
Lesbian one, not the fit one.
She's not a leser. She married Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, she looks like one. Anyway.
Well, Johnny Bravo loves her, and like, you know, well, we won't get into Johnny Bravo philosophy on this show, but
yeah.
They've married and they've had 6 children together, and they've set up a new mystery company. And
well, she never had a boyfriend or anything in Scooby Doo. Like Fred and Daphne were clearly doing each other. Shaggy and
that's
Scooby
because she was waiting for Johnny Bravo. I mean, like I said, I've sent my treatment to Hanna-Barbera. They've yet to get back to me on it, though.
But yeah, anyway, so. But that can be misleading if you saw that. The whales are 10 feet long and move in a rising up, gliding along and sinking back down motion, which matches McCleary's description. And the whales are present off the Florida coast in the month of the encounter. Skeptics suggest the entire story of a sea serpent systematically killing McCleary's friends one by one was a hypothermia-induced hallucination. While others
sea serpents are real.
Well, yeah, but
how's he getting hypothermia in Florida?
Because it was freezing. Eh?
But isn't Florida known for being 100 degrees all the time?
Yeah, he was out at sea though, and I think probably in it wasn't summer, I don't think. So, and it was bad weather. Anyway, others have suggested. Shit, I've almost dripped my pint there. Others suggested that the entire story was invented by a mind racked with survivor's guilt and post-traumatic stress disorder, in order to help McCreary's mind process the horrors.
I think it's what that camp counsellor did to him the year before.
Yeah. McCreary himself would pass away in 2016, and although he would stick to his story to his dying day, he would refuse interviews in later life. The truth is, we may never know exactly what happened on that tragic day. Thank you. And there you go. That's the story of the Pensicola sea monster. Hands up who thinks it's true. Hands up who thinks it's a load of bollocks.
Absolutely.
Well, I know sea serpents are true. They're real.
Really? Have you seen one? Because you've seen a ghost, haven't you? So have you seen a sea serpent as well?
I've seen pictures of them described and saying how they're more venomous than land snakes, serpents.
But the sea serpent is more... It's not really a snake, is it? It's sort of like you've got the Loch Ness type sea serpent, which is like a plesiosaur, or long neck.
No, that creature's not a serpent. Serpent.
And then you've got the multi-humped type creature, which is like a snake, I suppose, but the head is usually more. The head is more.
No, sorry.
Dragon-like.
I'm getting serpent mixed up with sea snake. So yeah, a sea serpent.
Well, sea snakes are real.
Sea snakes or coral reef snakes.
Yeah, but we wouldn't cover something that's definitely real on this program, would we?
Well, have you ever seen a coral reef snake?
I have, but they exist. They're real in the same way a cow is real. But we wouldn't cover that on this program. We'd only cover a mystery.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, if somebody does a research into sea snakes sleep studies, I'll definitely read that out. I want to follow up to the shark science stuff.
All right, okay, but when I'm on though, it's more I deal with
cryptozoology. Yeah,
exactly. Cryptozoology. So
Did you hear the stuff about the Australian yowie wowies?
Is there new? There's something new about them. Some new
stories about. We just talked about them and they're spooky.
Yeah. Well, no, you had what's his name? You had Bjarke on some time ago, didn't you? He was talking about them, and I think we have touched on them. But we could do.
There was this guy I heard recently. It wasn't Bjarke. It was this other Australian bloke. That was it. He was on Windows on the World. No, he lives in Australia, and he's talking about how the yowies are actually apparently they want to communicate with humans now and say,
I've got a spooky story for you. Did you know that Dwight Schultz looked different 40 years after being in the A team?
No.
I
was he anyway?
Thought that, would you?
Which one was
Harley
he?
Matt Murdoch.
Right.
Yeah, he looks different. He looks different.
Barclay.
Yeah, he looks different 40 years after being in the A team. I never would have thought that. Would you?
No, because I looked exactly the same 40 years ago as I do now. So, no, I didn't know him. I do remember one of them was in Big Brother, weren't they? Some time ago.
Oh, were they one of the A team? Was it
George Pepper's?
Was it Dirk
George
Benedict?
Pepper died ages ago. Mr. T is obviously very distinctive, and it was one of the other. It wasn't Murdoch. It was the other guy, the face.
Dirk Benedict.
He was in Big Brother.
Benedict.
Yeah.
Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
I liked that show. No, Buck Rogers, I think. That's the one which had the little golden robot with Mel Blanc doing the voice going beady beady beady.
Silver robot.
is golden.
He was silver.
You're not doing a C3PO on me again.
It's not that. He was always fucking silver. Anyway, why are you commenting on the fucking robot and not Wilbur Deering in those impossibly tight fucking trousers he used to wear?
Was he gay like C3PO? Who was
no, it was Mel Blanc, wasn't it? Bugs Bunny himself.
Beady, beady, beady. Oh boy.
Beady, beady, buck.
I didn't see that program. I've heard of it, but I didn't watch it. I think it was on the same time. I think wasn't it on ITV, and it was on about the same time as Jim will Fix It. So make a decision.
Here's one for you. Bill Paxton was born on this day in 1955. A much missed and popular actor will still be the only person to be killed on screen by a Terminator, an Alien, and a Predator.
It wasn't. I was thinking of the Incredible Hulk actor.
He was killed. No, it's Bill Bixby. Bill Paxton was. He got killed at the start of Terminator by Arnie. He got killed about halfway through Aliens, and then Predator 2. He was in that as well.
He got killed there as well.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the? No, he's not. He's not Apollo Creed.
Oh, that's not very nice, is it? Anyone need a cheap old banger? Katie Price. Airbags deployed, high mileage with a sloppy box. Starts and drives after a bush. That's.
I think she's going to be dead. She's going to be dead soon, isn't she?
She's going for the Lolo Ferrari arc, isn't she?
Yeah, so I'm sure that death is coming up.
It's Harvey.
So have you reviewed the? He enjoys himself. Have you reviewed the Fortean Times then?
Which thing? No, I was just doing the sidelines.
All right, okay. So what we got? Have you done unexplained histories this week?
No, we started off with just a roundup of stuff from
the Telegram.
Oh, excuse me, from the chat, but we haven't done the pistories.
Yeah.
Should we have a look at some then?
Should we have a look at the pistories, shall we?
Yeah, let's get on there and see what's the paranormal news is. See what's going off.
As many as 1.7 billion Tyrannosaurus Rexes once roamed the Earth. See, Fraser will be in a minute. He loves a bit of unexplained mysteries. He loves the science in there.
That's nice.
Hello.
Did you know,
DNA
Fraser, that there might have been as many as... Headline says, as many as 1.7 billion Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Third paragraph down, there might have been as many as 2.5 billion individual T-Rexes. What do you mean 6 billion T-Rexes?
Oh, no.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
DNA
like...
test confirms...
What's the Earth's population at the minute?
8
a lot.
billion?
8 billion?
I think it is.
So 8 billion. Imagine there are 2.5 billion Tyrannosaurus Rexes. How much fucking food would there have to be on the planet?
I mean...
Yeah. Plenty.
Well, I mean, how much does made up thing eat every day, you know?
Oh yeah, dinosaurs weren't real, remember?
No, they're not real.
Why?
Are you a skeptic, a dino skeptic? Not Ian.
Let's see. I think I'm waiting for one to be made with DNA because they reckon they can't they? If they could get the DNA of a dinosaur, they can make one.
Yeah, but they can't get the DNA from the plastic
bones.
bones. There's not actually. Didn't you say it's not actually bones, Fraser?
It's
well,
things
the ones
in
you
rock.
see in the museums aren't the bones. They're too brittle and...
They're fossils.
And they're all radioactive.
Mm. Yeah, the
Why
ones
are they
in
all
the museum
radioactive?
are remakes. They're not, they're not the real thing. They're far too fine and will just crumble to dust, basically. Yeah, supposedly.
And also give off radiations.
Well, yeah. big skeptic on how many made up T-Rexes and how much they need to eat to
They
how
have
many of them would be.
they have mammoth DNA, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Would it-
mammoths are that's just a
Mammoths are a lot more recent. Would it not be like it is a bit of speculation, right? But so you know how like dinosaurs are totally fake, but dinosaurs are real. Sorry, dragons are mythical creatures, but dinosaurs are totally real. Source, trust me, bro. All the bones of these alleged dinosaurs are radioactive, but dragons we know fly around and are fire breathing.
Yeah.
Would that not suggest to you like? I'm not saying they're mechanical creatures, but I'm also saying they're mechanical creatures with nuclear reactors.
Yeah.
And that's why their bones are radioactive, and so they probably
got
weren't
bones,
like well, they probably weren't immortal creatures. They probably after a while, like nuclear reactors have to be decommissioned.
How about this one
They
then?
say
Gang rents entire hotel, spends month digging tunnel to oil pipeline. So according to reports, the gang have rented out an entire hotel in Cheongju, South Korea, so they could use it as a base of operations from which to tunnel under the ground. They spent the next month carefully digging out a tunnel, one section at a time, using little more than spades and pickaxes in an effort to make as little noise as possible. The entire thing was masterminded by a former employee of the Daehan Oil Pipeline Corporation who had previously been fired for his job at attempting to steal oil from a different pipeline. And they got caught.
Messy business.
Yeah.
So crime doesn't pay.
Not for him, it don't. You seen this one? World's oldest dog turns 31 after avoiding being put down as a puppy.
But he would.
Yeah.
Be good. I got one here. DNA test confirms the presence of predatory big cats in the UK.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Seen that one? Have we seen that
yeah.
one? I'll cover a quick run through this because it affects us all. A strand of hair found on a fence following a sheep attack suggests that there are large predatory cats prowling the countryside.
Ooh.
It is a phenomenon that has endured the British Isles for decades. Sightings of large cats, such as panthers, lynxes.
Lynxes.
And
Is that correct?
Or lynx.
Hobbit.
You correct me.
What's the
The
plural
guy.
for lynxes?
It's a golden robot.
Yeah.
The robot I was thinking of in Buck Rogers is golden, and the plural of lynx is lynxes.
Yeah, but
Cool.
Tweaky wasn't golden. You found another one.
Except, well, this is the thing. The Mandela on the Wipeout is not complete because I'm looking at them now, and it's like some show them golden, some show them copper-coloured, some show them in silver. But the only ones I can find in silver are the black and white ones.
The golden shower robot.
I'm telling you now, Tweaky is like I would say he's golden.
I would say he's not golden, and it might have something to do with the light reflected onto his silverness.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. So why are the Cybermen like never shown as being golden? Because as far as I remember, Cybermen are all silver. And I didn't even watch the Cybermen.
Oh no! Here you go. Look, there's two of them. That was another robot, you div.
Wait, what do you mean? There's another robot that looks just the same as Tweaky.
Look,
who
there you
happens to be a
go.
different colour.
Side by side, you gimp.
Wait, so who are these robots then?
Yeah, other
Wait,
robots.
who's the one
it's
on
a fucking science fiction series. They made more than one robot.
I thought it was like Star Trek. You're only allowed to have one robot per show, or Lost in Space. Danger, Will Robinson.
Well, you'd have the one, and then they go, "Oh look, I've got a new friend robot who's going to be here forever." Oh no, he's died.
So, right, okay.
They even had a black robot. Look.
What are you talking about, Willis?
What do you talk about, Willis?
Shall I just finish this?
It's like where they got the idea from. That that guy, Flavor Flav.
He wants to do the.
It's not a long piece, but I just it's where it came from. Is it lynxes?
Yeah.
They've somehow survived, ended up surviving in the wilds of a country in which they do not belong. Sightings of such creatures have produced a number of local legends in parts of England, such as the famous Beast of Bodmin Moor, which gained notoriety after a spate of incidents in 1978. Now researchers investigating the mystery sheep attack in Gloucester, it could have been Fred West as well, have seemingly confirmed a large predatory cat is roaming the British countryside by conducting DNA test on a strand of hair they found near a fence. So there you go. It is real.
Yeah, well, I think I don't think we've ever doubted the existence of big cats.
I know. The trouble is, we know
it's plausible because of the thingy-majig in the 20s, isn't it?
The trouble. I much prefer a dinosaur in a lake as my mystery creature.
Yeah.
Just someone who's stupid enough to have a tiger as a pet, which some people do, and then it escapes. Then yeah, fair enough.
I quite like those people when there's cheetahs around and they're just like, the tweet is just like a big old kitty, and it's like
yeah, and then it rips your head off.
Hobbit, NASA, we may only have 30 minutes warning the solar storm's coming.
Oh no, is it is it like, oh, this asteroid's really close? It's really close this time.
Yeah.
How close is really close? It's 1,000,000 billion kilometers away.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Oh, it's really close. It's a near miss.
Oh, as things stand, it's not a question of if such an event will occur, but when. All we can do is hope the world will be ready when it does.
Who says we didn't die in two?
Isn't there been like several asteroids that are meant to kill us already, or is that like 2027 or something?
That's the close calls, isn't it?
Who's to say that we didn't all die in 2012? This is purgatory. And they're just trying to
be honest.
Get your hopes up.
Oh, have you seen this one from the 13th, Ian? Steve Feltham, I thought hunting Nessie would be easier.
I didn't read that, yeah.
Do you want to do this one? This is right up your alley. You're a close personal friend of the Feltham family, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I used to like him, but I go admit we've fallen out in recent times, and I haven't really got a lot of time for the guy these days. But anyway, you read it.
Did he say he was going to fight you, didn't he, or something?
No, he was just upset. I was just mucking about a bit, and he seemed not being serious. There you go.
It's in the back chat. How old is he anyway?
He's getting on a bit. He made a documentary on it when he set off on his journey in 1991. It's on YouTube. It's quite good. And he was 28 then, so he must do the math. I was 30, so he must be about 60. So yeah, and he's still in.
Too old to be offering you fights in the street, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I know. I think I could have him actually. And if I could get someone who could, I could get someone who would do him over. Yeah. Anyway, if I didn't want to do it, where is the? There it is. Steve Feltham.
Dom.
Sword hunting.
Is Dom your heavy? Is he?
Dom can look after himself.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. So.
I miss Dom.
Well, I do speak to him, so I know he's had a few things on. Plus, he's had that big promotion in his job, so he's a bit more busy these
Mr.
days.
High and Mighty, too good for the likes of us.
Yeah, high flyer now, but he said he was going to come on. So, yeah, but we'll see. I'm sure he will soon, but I'll speak to him at some point. But we'll see what we got here. Steve Feltham. I thought hunting Nessie would be easier. So yeah.
Oh.
Veteran.
I asked the librarian if she could recommend an author who writes dinosaurs. She said Triceratops.
Oh.
Right.
That's bad. That is bad, Jojo Gizmo. That is bad.
Yeah. I asked the librarian if there was any authors who wrote about private parts. She said, try something by Jenny Taylor. Jenny Taylor. I
used to go out with a girl from Marks and Spencer's. She wouldn't let me try anything on.
I think we've had that one before.
Yeah, I think we have.
But, yeah, it kind of works. Anyway, all right then. Where are we? Okay, the veteran Nessie hunter spent more than 3 decades scouring the waters of Loch Ness for signs of the elusive monster. For most people, looking for signs of the elusive Loch Ness monster amounts to just glancing at the water in the hope of catching a brief glimpse of a dark shape disappearing beneath the murk. Fuck. For Steve Feltham, in fact, I think he cursed me, didn't he?
He's still alive, Ian?
Well,
No, I just had a swig of lager, went down the wrong tube. Hang on.
it's the curse of
You're supposed to drink it, not
Charles
breathe
Fort.
it. Yeah.
Anyway, okay. For Steve Feltham, however, looking for the creature became a lifelong obsession. Originally from Dorset, Feltham began his search for the monster in the famous lake back in 1991 after being fascinated by the possibility of its existence. Having given up his house, his job, his girlfriend, to focus on finding the elusive beast, he now lives in a mobile home, yeah, right, yeah, of course he does, which is parked on a permanent basis on the shores of the loch. It is parked on a permanent basis, but whether he lives there, I have my doubts. He has made a living selling miniature models of the monster to visiting tourists, yeah, and charging like about 20 quid for them. While his passion for the search has never wavered, he recently admitted that he thought after his first sighting of the creature, the hunt would be a lot easier. So there we go. That's
the thing nobody's found for hundreds of years, a piece of piss, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. If I go back, I don't know when I go back, but if I go back, I would like to see him. Though I'm not as keen now as I was last time, but I would like to see him. I won't tell him.
You're going to tell him you threatened his daughter.
No, he's the one that got. He's the one that got, pissed off. I was just having a laugh, to be honest, just for comedic effect. But,
that mastic jelly novelty thing to remind me of this very important tweet. So
what I won't do is buy one of his crappy models, as I was going to be willing to do that before, but I won't do that now. So he's lost a customer, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Free
Palpatine.
What else is going on?
This woman thought it was very important that people know hashtag Free Palpatine.
Nice. What else is going on in Fortean news then?
Oh, unexplained mysteries. Let's have a look at that.
What catches your eye, Hobbit?
Well, Texas mosquitoes. Just a video showing an absolute swarm of them. Mystery tremors in Denmark were from an unknown source. I love these articles, right?
Yeah.
Scientists have been left perplexed by a series of unexplained quakes on the Danish Baltic island of Bornholm. During the weekend, the Geological Service in Denmark and Greenland, or GES, reported it received tip-offs from several dozen people regarding earthquake-like tremors on the island. Well, as opposed to, there's some tremors here, but they're definitely not earthquakes. Oh, by the way, you weren't here, Ian, last week.
No, I wasn't.
I was talking about how my granddad, when he went to school, one of the lessons he has was, right, today we're going to learn that the ether definitely doesn't exist. I just thought, like, it must waste a lot of time when you're going to school and there's like, right, today class we'll be learning about these things that don't exist. Anyway, Guess said the phenomenon, which occurred mainly on Saturday afternoon, was described as deep rumbling.
Have you read the last paragraph of
I'll get into it.
Yeah.
It was strong enough to cause some minor structural damage to buildings. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but the source of the quake still remains something of a mystery. The earthquakes. Earlier today, the Guess reported that tremors were not caused by earthquakes, but by pressure from the lake troll. Pressure waves from an event in the atmosphere. Oh, okay. The Institute was keen to stress, however, that the source and nature of the event was unknown.
It was very unknown, Hobbit. It was unknown.
The seismologists can report it is unlikely that tremors originate from a controlled explosion in Poland. We just gathered shortly before the first reports of tremors in Bornholm, Guest said in a statement. The search for answers, which definitely has nothing to do with the controlled explosion in Poland, continues.
Nothing to do with the control. Not even worth mentioning the controlled explosion. That's how it has nothing to do. That's how you know it has nothing to do with the controlled explosion.
No, I do remember something about a large explosion occurring somewhere in Eastern Europe over the weekend. I guess that's got nothing to do with it. I just found, I've got my new art career here. Artist steals money, calls theft work of art. An artist from Denmark did a runner with a museum's cash and defined the incident itself as art. We've done this one, haven't we?
No,
According to a report, the Danish artist Jens Hanning, I remember doing this, yeah.
Sounds familiar, actually. Yeah.
He received 534 Danish kroner from the Kunsten Museum of Modern Art in Aalborg, with the expectation that he would create two of his previous works that literally framed the banknotes themselves as an artistic depiction of the relationship between art and working life. Instead, however, Hanning seemingly did a runner with the money in protest of what he described as miserable working conditions and low pay. So, how much is 534,000 Danish kroner worth?
In the Kunsten Museum, though, did they show any constables?
500. Well, it's a museum of modern art, so there'll be loads of vaginas in there. 534 Danish krone in GBP.
And an exhibit of a shit in a tent.
That is worth 60. It's worth £62,000.
That's not bad.
So he steals £62,000 and says that's the artwork. I encourage other people who. Oh, sorry, this is Danish. I encourage other people who have no working conditions as miserable as mine to do the same. If they're sitting in some shitty job and not getting paid, and are actually being asked to pay money to go to work, then clap what you can and beat it. But they paid you £62,000 to just recreate some art. Yes, that's my art statement. I have recreated the art. No backsies.
The whole thing was an art project then. The whole stealing the money and that. A bit like when Pete Townsend was looking at dodgy pictures on the internet. He said he was doing it for research.
Yeah.
Well, did anybody pay him money to do the research?
No, but I suppose what he intended to do was sell the book and get money that way. The fact that he spunked up everywhere over his computer was neither here nor there.
Hard drive's all gummed up.
Yeah.
Was Amelia Earhart really eaten by giant crabs?
Giant crabs?
Yeah.
Was that in Unexplained Histories as well?
Yeah.
She ended up in a wormhole and was in the Delta Quadrant 500 years in the future.
So it says here they think a plane went down somewhere in the remote Pacific atoll of Nikamororo, and that the aviator and her navigator Fred Noonan may have survived for several days on a small island while awaiting rescue. If that's true, however, why haven't their remains been found? Excuse me. Interestingly, 13 human bones were actually found on the island in 1940 by British colonial officer Gerard Gallagher. However, these have sadly been lost, making further study impossible. Some researchers believe the reason so few bones were found were because Earhart's remains had been devoured or dragged off by coconut crabs, which can grow up to 3 feet across.
Coconut crab.
That's not the only explanation, though, is it? It could be something else.
What?
The body could have been eaten by sharks, or it could have been just rotted away, or even just drifted out. The ocean's a big place, and finding a body in there is like looking for a needle in a haystack. So,
hey, here's an article pertaining to you. Do you know John Payne, Ian?
John Payne.
He's from Newport in Wales, 55 years old. Been visiting Loch Neck in Scotland, and he took a photograph of the Nessie.
Well, let's have a look then.
All right,
this is what it's about. Put it in the
tourist photographs Loch Ness monster from hotel window. 55-year-old John Payne from Newport, and well, we've already said this bit. Anyway, so he went and visited Loch Ness, and he spotted something unusual. Well, considering this is Loch Ness, known to house the Loch Ness Monster, would it be unusual to describe, like, oh, I was at Loch Ness and I saw the Loch Ness Monster? Surely that would be a usual occurrence.
I believe the correct
It
phrase
might be
is
a bit
no
weird
shit,
if you're in
Sherlock.
Lake It might be a bit weird if you're like in I can't think of any other famous lake in England.
If you break it down, it's unusual to see a monster. But if you see a monster at Loch Ness, then yeah, you've probably seen the Loch Ness Monster. So it's
a bit weird if you're at Lake Michigan and say it's like, oh, it's the Loch Ness Monster. What's he doing out of Scotland?
Yeah.
Has he got a passport?
There are other lake monsters, but yeah.
The father of three, which is somehow pertinent to this report, had been gazing at the scenery outside his hotel window overlooking the loch, where he noted... Did you like my good Scottish there, Fraser? Yes. Ootsman. Something in the water and grabbed his camera to take a picture. Hang on, he's Welsh. I was looking boyo out at the scenery from the valley of the window, and this huge thing just appeared out of nowhere, he said. I tried to get a picture, but it was gone and it popped up to get put down the loch.
Is this a Swedish Welshman, is it?
He's Danish.
Sounds more Indian to me.
I took another picture and then zoomed in on my camera and waited to see it would appear again, and it did, just like that. It must have been something very large, because they're about a mile away from the loch, and I could see it clearly. Oh, I could. You wouldn't have been able to see a bird or anything else from that far away. It had to be something large. The images he captured, which has since been generating quite a lot of attention on social media, showed a large, strangely shaped, dark-coloured object protruding from the water some distance away. Sadly, the object is too far away to make out clearly, leaving a conclusive identification difficult. I showed some people at the hotel, and they already shocked I from now Malmore, not Newport. I went down to the loch later, but I couldn't see anything. Oh, no. Hang on, he's from Wales. Why is he doing Scottish But John Payne, that is very cultural appropriation-y of you to be saying "och I the new" to the locals. You're Welsh. You're not allowed to say it. To the comments, what do they say? Just waves, seals, sturgeons, floating logs as usual. Move along. Oh, brilliant!
Sturgeons
Mystery
floating
Mike.
logs. What? She had a shit in the
Sturgeons.
Yeah, Nicholas Sturgeon's been spotted floating around on logs there.
Well, they said sturgeons floating logs. Does that mean she's been shitting in the Loch Ness? Does it?
So, Mystery Mike has proven the stereotype true that the worst posters on the internet are Canadian because his location is marked as Canada. Sanchez710 says, "Yeah, looks like a log with a branch sticking up." Well, you're a dickhead.
Oh no,
John...
is that the one? I think it's a one of those people who stand on boards and paddle around.
John the Frog. So John the Frog, he says a crow on the tip of a spruce. I don't think there's spruce trees in Scotland, are they? Nicolette says, no floating logs, just don't pop up and resubmerge at random and make waves in still water. And there's no way that is a crow. Whatever it is, it's very much the shape of many other Nessie photos. But exactly what it is, who knows? ...
Ooh.
Still looks like a lost elephant to me, though.
The object doesn't actually change shape, though, which does suggest that it is a bodyboarder, or whatever they are. What are those people?
Yeah.
But what if Ness says rigor mortis?
But Hobbit wants to believe.
A man doing backstroke with an erection.
I just want to read the comments in silly voices and berate those from Canada.
I'll tell you what. I'll have a comment. I'll have a comment section for you here, Hobbit. Have a look at this here story here. This is a fun one. Tourists following GPS directions drive straight into harbour.
You know, this must be the sort of okay, it's a woman driving it. Mystery solved. You know those people that go the Always 40 Club?
Yeah.
Like, they're on the national speed limit, they're doing 40. They're on the motorway in lane 2, they're doing 40. They're going through the middle of a school when it's foggy, doing 40. They're always doing 40 miles an hour. I was behind one of these always doing 40 guys.
I still follow a guy back, and he was like, he wasn't always 40. I think he was like always fourth. Like as in always fourth gear. He used to drive this car. It was like one of the sportier Jap ones. And he used to drive along, and whenever he got to a hill, it slowed down. And then he got up to the top of the hill, and then it was fine again. Because I don't think he ever changed gear.
Mm.
And drove with a handbrake on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This woman that, you know, she doesn't look too perturbed by the fact that she's in imminent danger of drowning.
Fuck, her husband's paying for a new car.
It looks like a Karen woman, actually.
It's in Hawaii, you know, she's just following GPS. GPS says drive off of the fucking cliff, and she does.
It's just a shame. It's just a shame she didn't win a Darwin Award for it, isn't it?
Yank Karens are the worst.
Unfortunately, a sailboat crew had to go and rescue them, so they will continue to live.
Nice.
So
that's good.
Oh, it turns out the tourists who happened to be sisters, so there was no man in the car.
It's two women.
Yeah.
I like how, even though they're drowning, they've got the windscreen wipers on, because it's important to see where you're going.
Yeah. Reminds me of the scene from The Spy Who Loved Me with Roger Moore when the car went into the water and turned into a submarine.
I do like the Sean Connery James Bonds, but I think in retrospect I like the Roger Moore ones more.
Yeah, I like the Roger Moore more, and because he was funny, wasn't he? He was funny. Whereas, and after that, I haven't watched them. I refuse to see any other ones. I like the Sean Connery ones are more of a time capsule because they are quite old now, and you can see things from the past when you watch those. That's my main.
Weird thing is I was watching
very problematic things.
What you mean when men were men?
Yeah,
I watched,
have we done Hobbit? Do you want to employ your voices again and do about the Welsh beautician who quits her job to become a full-time witch? Oh, have we already done this?
No, we've done that one.
Do it in the style of Sean Connery.
No, you were there, Ian. You were saying, "Oh, I should do it in the style of Kenneth Williams." And I can't do Kenneth Williams.
I like your Kenneth Williams. That is spot on.
I don't think I've ever done Kenneth Williams.
But Sean Connery used to give the women a slap on the face, didn't he, when he was interrogating them?
Because they loved it.
Well, I think they did in those days, but not these days.
Oh, they do, but they have to pretend they don't because
he'd slap her about, and then he'd end up giving her one. How does that work then?
I love a bit of it.
Yeah.
Hobbit, I've got a question for you, Hobbit. Why do some people believe that climate change is a hoax?
You know what? I think the best way to convince me that the climate crisis emergency Ebola AIDS is real is to have a 10-year-old with Down syndrome tell me that, how dare you, and sail over in a petrol-powered yacht diesel-powered yacht to the east coast of the USA, and then definitely not be molested by Leonardo DiCaprio as he takes you around various cities in the United States on this private jet where you're given all the vegan cocaine you could ever want. Sorry, we're talking about why some people don't believe in...
It's the allure of black and white thinking. Close examination of the... Why are they still calling us climate change deniers? I don't deny that the weather changes daily. I don't deny that.
No, you're a denier. No, they're talking about very specific.
They should call us what they mean and just call us heretics.
No, they're talking about a very specific subset of person the sort of person that denies that any change happens whatsoever. You're a change denier.
Do you remember that time? Do you remember that time on Twitter? Right, I said to some bloke that I said, yeah, I'm a climate change denier. I deny the weather has ever changed ever. It completely threw him.
That's cheeky.
Be right back.
Close examination of the arguments made by climate change deniers reveals the same mistake over and over again. That mistake is the cognitive area known as black and white thinking. It's also called dichotomous, all or none thinking. As I explain in my book, Finding Goldilocks, black and white thinking is a source of dysfunction in mental health, relationships and politics.
Finding Goldilocks, did you say?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
I can't see how that works, but go on.
It's just like, well, the problem is, there you are, black and white, facts, lies. The problem is when you have to believe climate change, you've just got to fudge everything, haven't you? You can't believe in one thing or another. So these are truly enlightened people that can hold. Burn all those things in your stove.
And can do what the fuck they want.
Yeah. Basically, Goldilocks thinking is people that realise that this looks like bollocks to me, and then they go, yeah, because this looks like bollocks, I think it is bollocks.
And Hobbit, isn't there a porn version of Goldilocks?
He's muted at the minute.
Is he?
Yeah.
It's okay, maybe confirm.
So what do you think to black and white thinking then, Frey? Here you go. I'll let you have a look at this.
Check it out.
This is the article I'm doing. It's in the back chat. Binaries are easy to handle because there are only two possibilities to consider. But isn't the whole point of this is you either believe in climate change or you don't? You know that black and white thinking I'm engaging in? Well, it's not me, it's you.
That's what you say when you end a relationship, isn't it? It's not me.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's me, or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's not me. It's you. That's what you should say.
It's not you. It's me. I
Yeah.
just don't feel comfortable anymore.
No, you just go. It's not me. It's you. You horrible.
Yeah. I've been screwing round.
I just love the whole fact that the whole thing's built on a load of So, like, you're a climate change denier. You deny there's climate change because you have black and white thinking.
Well,
definitely not a religious cult. Definitely not saying they are heretics, not of the faith.
See, the problem
we'll
is
see in 50 years' time. Won't
the
we?
problem is, Hobbit, is that you believe in black and white thinking. That's why you're a climate change denier. Because you believe there's either climate change or there isn't. You're denying there's climate change because you have black and white thinking.
Heretic.
It's just
Why can't they just say there's heretics? They don't believe the faith.
What the thing is, like, how much cognitive dissonance do they have on a daily basis to call someone a climate change denier and then moan that they're the ones that have got black and white thinking?
Just ask them about the mythical fucking sea rise. Like, that hasn't happened yet. Like,
I remember.
Ignore those photos from the 19th century Sydney Harbour. That's just a conspiracy theory.
Al Gore's predictions. Do you remember Al Gore's predictions?
When was it? 2019 or something?
Was it 20? I thought it was sooner than that.
Yeah, but I don't think even Al Gore believed it when he releases the film and then proceeds to buy up 5 beachfront properties.
Obama did that too.
These black and white
Hobbit's vegetarian cuisine. I am a vegetarian. I think it's the way forward, and it's like people come to my house and I'm just like eating steaks with sausages and black pudding. And they're saying, hang on, aren't you a vegetarian? It's like, yeah, that's for the masses. That's not for me.
Anyway, these climate change deniers, you know the climate change deniers, the ones that think in black and white. There's either climate change or there isn't. Sometimes people divide the spectrum in asymmetric ways, with one side much larger than the other. For example, perfectionists often categorise their work as either perfect or unsatisfactory. So even good and very good outcomes are lumped together with poor ones in the unsatisfactory category. In dichotomous thinking like this, a single exception can tip a person's view to one side. Is this like if you're skeptical about the science, you're a climate change denier? Is it that kind of dichotomous thinking?
Yeah, they're worried about like the inconsistencies on their side tipping someone to, denial. That's what it's basically saying.
I can't deal with this much cognitive dissonance. It's like, look at the length of this article. It just goes on and on and on and on. And
fuck me, yeah. Jesus.
And they just go, and it's, oh, you know what you're doing? You climate change denier. You're doing black and white thinking. It's either off or on with you, isn't it? It's insane. And also,
member who can't think in terms of moral absolutes accuses others of black and white thinking. More news at 10.
Yeah, exactly. What was I going to say next?
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ is real. The earth is a flat rock underneath a dome. The firmament separates the waters above from the waters below.
Was Noah's Ark real? Was that real?
Probably
was that real?
Yeah.
Well, the flood story is a commonality in all religions, isn't it?
Why are there limestone fossils in mountain ranges?
Yeah.
Of dinosaurs.
Why, Hobbit, do you think in black...
How do they work?
Hobbit, why do you think in black and white? Why are you a climate change denier?
Yes, I deny the climate changes.
Rubik Cube. What were all that about? Sorry, that's Peter Kay there.
Has any scientists come out with the explanation as to how tax changes weather?
Yes, if you tax people to death, then there's less people about, so less weather.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Stop them doing anything, so they...
Right, I'm done in. Are we all done?
I think so.
That's good.
Stick a fork in it, he's done.
Stay
It's been
spooky.
fun, Jim.
Woo! Right, we done?
Fucking bugger.